Hi, welcome to our channel Good New. Guess what? Huge losses, technical regressions, and public outrage. Does the United States now regret penalizing Huawei? Endless losses appear to demonstrate how foolish the decision to ban Huawei is. Can you, America, retain your cool right now? Please subscribe to our channel and enable the notification bell before we begin today's video. Let's get this party started. Everyone has noticed China's tremendous rise in high-tech in recent years. Whether in aerospace, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, or other critical industries, China has achieved parity or perhaps surpassed the West. This is inextricably linked to the activities of several Chinese scientists. Furthermore, the fast advancement of China's telecommunications technology contributed to this. Construction of communication networks has been the focus of rivalry in many parts of the world not long after its debut in the Internet age, as it is the hub linking numerous sectors and the cornerstone of scientific and technical growth, particularly in 5G communication. Huawei, the world's most sophisticated 5G corporation, has over 3,000 5G patents, which should have served as a business card for China's network communications to the rest of the world. To consolidate its position in the communication market, the U.S. not only framed Huawei equipment's security issues, incited its allies to reject and dismantle Huawei communication equipment, but also contributed to the so-called 5G Open RAN alliance in an attempt to isolate Huawei's 5G from the global giants. Unexpectedly, half a year after the 5G Open RAN technology was touted, the local communication operator Cellcom formally declared that it will shut down the Open RAN network created in Wisconsin. Cellcom, a U.S. corporation, declared helplessly in this regard the equipment given by upstream provider Parallel Wireless is excessively expensive, exceeding our budget, yet the technical result has not fulfilled our expectations. The costs of paying for this lesson are too expensive. The West's reliance on Huawei appears to have far surpassed our expectations. Why does the United States keep failing in 5G construction? Do the United States and its allies want to re-cooperate with Huawei in the face of unending loss? Let's go over it in more depth in today's video. In less than a year, the 5G Open RAN alliance, which wants to produce a new system standard, has lost its cornerstone, which will certainly have a detrimental influence on the future development of 5G Open RAN technology. What's worse, it may become the fuse for the breaking down of the 5G Open RAN alliance. In reality, in addition to Cellcom, the alliance's main member, Nokia, has already begun to depart, and even the British communications giant Vodafone has just made a clear statement: Open RAN technology is touted by the telecom sector. So yet, we haven't seen the cost savings that Open RAN promises. It is clear from this that the 5G Open RAN coalition appears to be fully divided at the present. The US's futile attempt to stop Huawei's 5G plan is predicted to fail, and they will pay a high price for it. Why is this the case? To begin with, many alliance members, including Cellcom and other U.S. firms, have committed a significant amount of money, labor, material resources, and time in order to investigate Open RAN technology, but the unexpected shutdown implies that all past efforts would be in nothing. More crucially, they have already
马云拒绝闭目塞听，始终洞察变化，思考未来。
The U.S. and its allies have lost billions of dollars just dismantling Huawei equipment. To make up for this blank time and close the gap with 5G development in other places, these enterprises must pay a higher price and take the effort to identify Huawei and obtain related patent technology authorization. Second, the promotion of 5G Open RAN technology has been hampered, demonstrating that it is incapable of shouldering the heavy duty of 5G development, and this also represents the irreplaceability of Huawei's 5G from the side. In reality, the United States' action amounts to giving Huawei free exposure. Although Huawei had huge setbacks in the European market, which has been extensively nurtured for many years, in the early stages of 5G building owing to US meddling. However, as 5G development continues to expand, more and more wait-and-see areas, such as Brazil, Turkey, and others, have taken the initiative to extend olive branches to Huawei. Furthermore, Cellcom's decision to shut down the Open RAN network will allow those regions that have hesitated to reject Huawei to see the reality and make the proper choice. It is to be assumed that the United States will no longer be able to slow Huawei's 5G globalization. According to some foreign media, this is the cost of rejecting Huawei's 5G and Chinese technologies. So, now that the negative consequences of rejecting Huawei's 5G have surfaced, is there any chance that the US will re-cooperate with Huawei in the future? In my opinion, the United States is unlikely to accept Huawei. And I believe there are 3 reasons for this. To begin with, if the United States approves Huawei, it will provide Huawei with a large platform to demonstrate its capabilities in the United States. Huawei's position in 5G is expected to grow in the future. How can the US simply sit back and let Huawei become stronger in the US? Second, the present outbreak in the United States is dire. In the face of such severe economic pressure in the United States may lack financial confidence in supporting Huawei's 5G relaunch in the country. After all, the United States just spent $52 billion on chips. Finally, Huawei is not the sole option for the United States. If the US wants to create 5G, it may also work with Ericsson and Nokia. In conclusion, notwithstanding the negative effects, the United States is unlikely to embrace Huawei at this time and for a long time to come. However, given the current state of affairs in the United States, Huawei's 5G is the best option. Although the United States wishes to reclaim dominance in the global 5G industry, it lacks the necessary resources. As former Google CEO Eric Schmidt put it, all US telecommunications businesses together cannot match to one Huawei. We will be utterly behind if we continue to detach from Huawei's technologies. Many regions have maintained close cooperation and a win-win model in today's economic globalization, but in order to stifle China's high-tech development, the US has used its basic technological advantages to constantly revise the rules, suppress Huawei and other Chinese companies, and undermine the market balance system. I hope that the US will understand how vital Huawei's 5G is to the future growth of the US and achieve international collaboration that is beneficial to both nations and the globe. Thanks for having your watching in this video. You can add your ideas or suggestions below. Please keep following our channel and like our videos.